You'll often hear me talking about and playing D&D, but in this episode, inspired by a call-in from Jason Connolly, I'd like to give an honourable mention to a different game. Hello, I'm Colin Green and you are listening to Spike Pit.
Hey Colin, Jason here. So, Tunnels and Trolls, the second ever fantasy RPG in 1975, that's how they did damage. You took it right off your constitution. So, I don't know if that helps you with your spike hack, but it's a very, very early idea in gaming. Anyhow, talk to you later.
So I'd like to thank Jason for that call-in. He's reminded me of something I've been meaning to do for a little while. I sold my copy of Deluxe Tunnels and Trolls, but back a couple of years, I'd say, I looked into the system and actually picked up the deluxe copy. But at the same time, I downloaded a 2013 reprint of the original 1975 rules. Ken St. Andre was the designer. Flying Buffalo Games was the game company. And Tunnels and Trolls is basically the second role-playing game. In the 2013 reprint, it's like a zine format with all typewritten text. It's super basic and it's got some really kind of rudimentary art, sort of spot art. The front cover is probably the biggest piece of art. It's a picture of a unicorn. Jason points out that Constitution is used in place of hit points, and my ears perked up. I'd been talking about this in the previous episode, and I thought, yeah, I need to have a look at that again. It's got all D6. You have these things called adds. They do exactly what they say. They add to your roll, and you're trying to kind of beat these target numbers. I think initially I was put off a little bit because you have to count up all your dice, and there are different ways of doing this a little bit quicker. But when you get to some big numbers of dice rolling, I always thought it seemed pretty unwieldy. But there's some interesting things there, like point buy magic. It's got a more light-hearted tone, kind of. It's really kind of wildly creative, I guess. There's not a monster manual as such. It just tells you how you create monsters. Basically, you give them a number of dice. And it's really well supported with solo play material, giving you the opportunity, I guess, to learn the system, even if you're not massively into solo games. It's a good way to learn. And then, well, if you are into solo games, well, you're spoilt for choice. The fan base around the game has remained loyal from what I can see all these years. It's the same company producing it, Flying Buffalo. And it's just got this very particular tone. Ties in and is reminiscent to me of something like Black Pudding or maybe DCC, a little bit different, but that less serious vibe. And I think I'm going to give it a little bit more of my attention, just as something different to do. I like the fact that it's got this real simple, back to basics rule set, reminiscent of some of the white box games that I've collected over the years. Not a lot to say in this episode, other than sometimes I do feel that the big players and the D&Ds of the world can at times suck all the air out of the room. and it's refreshing perhaps to give something else a mention, its turn in the spotlight, if you will, every now and then. And that, as they say, is a wrap. Big thanks goes out to you, the listener, for taking a bit of time out of your day to listen to old Spike Pit. Take care, and I'll catch you later.